hard morning this morning, boys.
The people that our riders see in New Boston or Detroit or Texarkana or whatever, and they run into them again in Tucumcari or Vega or so, and they're like, I saw you last week pedaling your bike through Detroit. Oh yeah, that was us. And we do create an impression. And I think we're to the point where most of the people in the areas and towns that the route goes through are familiar with us being out there. I don't think they get it, I don't think they understand it, but they know we're out there, and I think they kind of appreciate it. The ride across Texas / race across Texas, the R.A.T, it's a byproduct of my imagination, yeah.
Oh, so here's the deal. So what I have discovered since the very first time we did this, the first event was in 2014. That year, nobody knew it could even be done. Spinistry had created this route. At that time, it was only 900 miles. And mostly unpaved roads, dirt and gravel. Hey, I'm here in New Boston, Texas. I'm on my first day of the race across Texas. It's a 1,000-mile bike ride from Texarkana, Arkansas to Tucumcari, New Mexico. And the way that really kind of works out is if you've got 1,000 miles to cover and you want to get it done in maybe like 8 days, that's, notionally 125 miles a day. So the first day to Paris is like 140, and then the next day it's 135 to Denison, go on to Henrietta, and that's another 140-ish day. Then 100 and something to Vernon, 100 to Childress, 100 to Silverton, whatever it is to Vega, and then 140 from Vega to Tucumcari. So that sort of sets the 8-day pace. So that's kind of the R.A.T in a nutshell, the logistics of it, start in Texarkana, end up in Tucumcari, and then figure out how to get home.
I like challenges in my life, and cycling really fed that. I want to stay within myself physically, emotionally, pace myself, be kind to myself, give myself grace for when I fall short of my goals, and just finish, just do it, just enjoy it. There's a lot of country that I've seen on the bike. Riding a bike is the perfect touring speed. You see so much more, experience so much joy, and if you can train well enough, you can overcome just all the pain that occurs. When I talk to my friends, they're like, God, you're so brave, you're so, I could never do that. And I'm like, I don't understand that. I don't understand that whole thing. And that's, it's either that's the way I'm wired or the way people are wired. So if anyone really wanted to get out and do this, grab a bike, and just see, just test yourself, just find that where that monster lives, and he may not ever be there. You might never ever find it, but the journey is so much fun.
With this bike I have the single speed, I'm able to do 12, 13. Unless it gets really hilly. And it's a nice easy pace. When I saw the Tour Divide documentary, that's when I kind of was like, whoa, like that's what I'm looking for. It's a lot of it is all mental. Finishing, people get, and it seems like most people that when I've done it, have quit on day 2. I think it's when you realize it's not going the way you thought it was going, and you just bag it. That's when last time I tried to quit. I called my wife 5 miles outside of Denison, said I'm done, and she reversed psychology to me. She goes, you're quitting? You never quit before. I was super crabby. I was like, first time for everything. And I said, well, I'm coming to get you tonight. I said, I know, I'll stay. And she said, why don't you ride less miles? And I said, that was stupid. And I went to the hotel and I showered and I laid there and I thought, what if I just did 100 tomorrow instead. It's still close enough. She'll come and get me. And so I did that, and then I started taking pictures. You know, I was like, oh yeah, I forgot. I usually stop and take a lot of pictures. You know, I'll stop for that real quick. I started doing that, and I was all happy, and then just kind of turned my whole brain around. And you know, I like seeing the sights, and I like riding my bike. Love riding my bike, yeah.
When you find your limits by going over your limits, that's the wrong way to do it. When you find your limits by achieving those limits, that's where you go, okay, now I know what I need to do to get to that next step, that next level. Because you don't want to go over that line when you're in the middle of nowhere.
Made it! Day 1. 7 more.
And I was riding the Hotter than Hell, and my buddy's like, hey, I'm doing the R.A.T next year. I go, the race across Texas? I go, I'll do it with you. Bad idea. I'm just a mental person. I like to crush my mind. That's it. I call it the pain cave. You go to the pain cave. I wrestled for many years, so like wrestling kind of, you have that mindset, right? The extreme, take yourself to the edge, and there's a different edge when you're doing endurance style, right? It's not like lifting a heavy deadlift. It's like the last 30 or 40 miles just here, I was fueling right, I was hydrating right, and mentally I was losing. I'm like, oh my God, I can't go anymore. I'm like, I'm almost there. And my wife's texting me, and so you're just digging into that mental, just trying to, I don't know, find yourself in there somewhere. And there's people finding themselves out here. That's for sure, 100%.
It was kind of hard at the end. I made some navigational errors. I was fumbling around trying to do my maps with my thumb, and I hit the wrong thing, and I went into stage 6. And it said navigate the route, and I go, okay, and I started following it. I'm like, what's going on? I rode through the tough part of the NETT trail. It's supposed to be on the road. And I was going through the stuff. It was like just grass. I was like, I did the whole thing, and I saw that my GPS had this other line coming off. I'm like, Subway people had all of a sudden kicked off a big conversation. Someone asked something, and there was a big group of cowboys. They all had spurs on their boots. They were looking at me kind of funny, and then the girl said something about my bike ride, and well, she kind of said, well, where are you going? You know, and I said, well, I'm doing here and here, and all of a sudden they all turned around. They're like, how far did you go last night? Where are you going? Yeah. Then the girl said, she goes, when you come back, make sure you tell us about your adventures.
I didn't carry camping gear. I carried an emergency bivvy or something, and I just stayed in motels because it's really the most practical way to do it. There's not a whole lot of places to camp. It's not like you're on the Tour Divide and you're going 2,700 miles through national forest land. Here it's pretty much, it's all private land, and so you're not going to camp in the bar ditch. If you do camp in the bar ditch and Farmer Brown comes along and he sees you camping in the bar ditch, he's likely going to rouse you out and say, hey, this is my bar ditch, keep moving. And you're not going to go on the other side of the fence into his field to a shady grove to camp in, because that is trespassing. So I just found camping to be a little too impractical and kind of a little more unpleasant than I was willing to bear.
The training basically was 50 miles in the morning with 2,500 feet of elevation gain, roughly 60% gravel, 40% road miles, undulating terrain. Generally, I'd get up at 3 to 4 a.m. and I'd be out on my bike. That was easy! And then that evening, roughly 5 miles running.
So I'm planning on passing Henrietta and riding on into the night. Last time I slept, I took a nap on the side of the road. Having it reel it back a little bit in my pace. Just not able to push it as hard as I thought I was going to be able to. I thought of something. You asked me about what I do on my rides, and there's something I count a lot. Because I used to do percussion in high school, marching band stuff. I would do like, especially going uphill, like 1, 2, 3 breaths, 2, 2, 3 breaths. I do these little patterns in my head. Sometimes I'll guess how many strokes it's going to take to get to the top. Then you try and make it, make it be that number. Just weird little games like that.
That was a long trek before we found our store.
Oh yeah.
That was tough.
I'm just loading up with everything I can and get to the next one. But yeah, not a lot of options for me here. Yeah, being vegan, you get French fries.
Tell them to get out there and graze with the cows.
When you put it all together, it's a huge rush. I don't want to speak too much because I want to get to the end.
If I don't make it, this is all just for nothing.
South wind is so strong with its open field. You cannot even feel the downhill. It's just like it's still flat. It's a good time to meditate. Yeah, it's actually a spiritual journey for me. It's like the you heard about El Camino? Yeah, where they walk in Spain, the St. James route. So as I start, I just keep praying the rosary. So it's a good time to reflect upon, what's going on in life, and where you could have done better. I used to run a marathon, and I did some series of marathons. Like I did 6 days marathon, 7 days marathon. It's like 7 days in 7 states. When I run, I always, lost track of, the rosary. So this time I bring the rosary with me so I will not be, lost track of the mysteries, as we call.
Just going down these roads, and all of a sudden, down this little road, I see cattle out of the fence. One bull, and he's about 50 yards away from me. He is not interested in moving. No, not this guy. This guy starts going out into the road now, and then he comes at me. I hold my hand out, and he sniffs my hand, and then I'm okay, cool. I'm gonna start walking now. You have a good day. Start walking. He starts following me. And then all of a sudden, he's starting to get a little pissed off. And so then he starts ducking his head and putting his horn on me. So I'm like, I've got a hold of his horn now. And I'm like, no. So then I start backing back up the road, and this bull turns, he starts looking at me, snorts, starts pawing at the ground. I'm like, you know, you need to cool it, buddy. You need to, this is not what you want. Now I've got my bike between me and the bull just to make sure if he hits something, it's going to be the bike first. And then at that point, he just said, okay, fine. And then he started walking away.
On old rangers saying weep no more for me. I'm crossing a deep dark river to a country that is free. Come and gather round me, comrades, and listen to what I say. I'm going to tell a story as my spirit passes away.
I'm glad God turned the fan on.
All the way in Northwest Texas, in a good old Lone Star State, there is one that for my coming, with a weary heart will wait.
Well, Matthew, I didn't know, but he's like a fast bike rider, and he just takes off. And so I start chasing him. Dude, this guy's fast. And so as I'm chasing him, I cannot keep up with him, but I'm trying like heck. And my knee just started aching. The next morning, we're getting suited up, and I'm just like, I'm gonna try to work through this knee pain. And Chewy's like, how are you feeling? And he's a chief, right? He's a fire chief. I'm just an engineer, so he does the chief thing. You know, how you feeling, Levi? I'm like, man, dude, my knee's really hurting. He's like, he grabs a couple of knee braces and throws them to him. He's like, try these. And I'm like, dude, they saved me. Like, I wore those things the entire time. So I just basically managed like putting it on, taking it off, putting it on, taking it off, putting 2 on, taking it off, putting 3 on. Just, it was, like I said earlier, constant management. Also the knee pain was accompanied with some severe calf, I don't know, cramp or something. It was just, the whole left leg was just hammered dog poop. So see if that works. Not 20 anymore. I heard Matt dropped out this morning. That's a bummer, man. It kind of bumps me out, you know, like, it's just a bummer, man. It's a hard morning this morning, boys.
This last 5 miles was like crazy. Either you are crosswind or headwind, and the wind in this area is like, I don't know, maybe 20-30 miles an hour. First thing this morning, I was reading the gospel for the day, and it's about a person who asks for help. Ask and you shall receive. My plan this morning was to reload on that town because it says there's store, but the stores are closed. It's like, oh man, it's like I don't have any water. I'll be riding for the next 43 miles with no water. Man, this is tough. Tougher than I thought. So there's a truck, like a trailer truck. So I just give a shot and ask for some water. Like, hey man, do you have some extra bottle of water? Oh, I still have some jug of water. You could refill your bottles. So I got it. You're alone? Who do you wanna talk to? Just talk to him. So it's a good day. It's a good time.
Paladuro Canyon and Caprock Canyon and the Llano Estacado and all those things. I mean, I've heard about them. I've driven through them at 80 miles an hour. It's a totally different experience just to be in the middle of it and just going up that wall and rushing down the other side a couple hundred miles away. That staked prairie across the top that just goes on forever. You recognize that you're in the middle of history. The books you've read, the stories you've heard, the movies you've seen about the Old West history, Native Americans, you feel it. It's a subtle connection, but it's a connection, and that's really cool.
Well, my favorite segment of the route is the very last segment, from Vega to Tucumcari, and specifically from Vega to the drop-off. And the drop-off is the northwest escarpment of the Llano Estacado, where you're coming across the high plains as flat as all get out. It starts undulating a little bit, and you see some weird cacti formation, and then you come up to the edge, and it just falls away from you, and out in the distance, hundreds of feet below you, is New Mexico. I mean, because state line is, you can coast down the hill to get state line, and you're across Texas. And I've just always liked that point. In fact, for me, the whole purpose of the R.A.T is getting to that point.
It's complicated. I now a 3-time participant in Race Across Texas, and I did not finish Race Across Texas. You know, I'm okay with it. I'm okay with having to not finish, and I'm okay with finishing. In the past, when I've been doing these stretches from one town to another, I have struggled with the distance. And the reason why I struggle is because I tell myself I have to get to this town, and I don't quit. So then whatever it takes, I'm going to get to that town.
It's a lot of fun. It's a beautiful route. It's just absolutely gorgeous. Well, full disclosure, I did not make it to Tucumcari. I quit in Childress, Texas, after about 640 miles on the route. Man, you're out there riding all day long, listening to nothing but your voiceover and the quit monsters on your shoulder. And, they sit right there on their shoulder and they make indecent propositions. And after a while, you just buy into it. And I just gave up.
I just finished the Race Across Texas 2023. happier with my performance this year? Yes. Compared to last time? Absolutely. Last time was crushing. This year was
Still trying to figure out why.
proving to myself that I had it within me. There's very few things in my life that have caused me to quit, and this was definitely one that I had come up against that seemed like an immovable object, and through training and commitment we were able to get it done. Definitely, it wasn't me by myself, it was a combination of my family, my wife, and myself getting this done. This is an all-in commitment. Last time I did this, I didn't ride my bike for 8 years.
How far away is he? How far? Because she's like, you're really close to him. I'm like, no, I'm not. I can't see him. I can't see him at all.
Tired, happy, I don't know. For how long? Makes me feel that it's more on the journey than the destination. You know, made it here. You know, for how long will I have this happy moments? Maybe there's some race coming up. But I have a good time.
We just kind of knocked heads into it. You know, we were both hurting, we were both struggling, and we were both having problems, and, you know, we were just like, and so we just kind of slowly spread apart so we couldn't hear each other complaining. And then after we got far enough apart, I was like, I gotta just go. I just gotta try. Because I didn't do the spot walla, so I was with Chewy most of the time. But he was struggling today, so I couldn't finish at 2 a.m. again. So, oh, it's kind of nice though.
Barring extreme injury or something like that, I don't see him, but he did the Quadzilla. If he doesn't finish, I will drive over there and make him finish.
Yeah, we just got separated, and then I had to stop because my light ended up going dead on me, and I stopped at the it was actually the last gas station before you did that 10-mile run on 66. At that time, Levi called me and he's like, "Hey, where you at?" I was like, "Man, I think I've got like 10, 15 miles left." He was like, "Well, get on the bike." And I was like, "Dude, I don't have any light." And he was like, "What?" It's like, "Bring me a light." So, no, he ended up, I was like, "Dude, no, don't worry about it. My light's almost charged." But I think that's what it was. We just kind of got separated that night. He was ready to get done. And that's what he told me. He's like, I just had that mentality. I need to get done, like, period. And I was like, dude, no hard feelings. It's good. But me being that guy, it's like, dude, I wanted to finish together. But no, it's all good.
But it was cool. I mean, like I said, we knew that when we split up, neither one of us were going to quit. It's just a matter of when we were going to get there.
All right.
Yeah, dude.
I'm cold and my ass hurts. That's it. So, not too bad. But I don't know what to expect at 1,000 miles. So, I guess now I know.
You finished it, dude.
I would have regretted it.
That's savage.
Holy smokes. Tired. I kept thinking, you there by 1, 2, 3. Oh, thanks. Want me to open it? Yeah, Sweet. Oh,
Rat.
It's a rat. Steve. Single speed Steve.
Wrote it, put his name on there for you.
Lock eyes.
Because you're such a savage for riding a single
Wow.
speed across.
Thanks a lot. Appreciate it.
I had to find like the goofiest looking. I was like, oh my god, this is a rat. This is perfect.
It's perfect.
My proudest moment is anytime anybody gets on a bike and rides. It's that simple. And if they enjoy it or if they have a story to tell because of it, if they can't wait to share with others what they've seen, what they've done, what they've experienced, that's a big deal to me. And I mean, and there's no one moment. It's every single person that does this. And it's what the rat isn't me. The rat isn't the route. The rat is these people that are riding it and taking on their own adventures, experiencing new things, seeing new sights, having stories they can tell for the rest of their lives. And when I hear somebody at one of my events or somewhere else where in the background they're telling a rat story, that's kind of special.
Turning and burning. If somebody's not telling you you're crazy, you ain't doing enough. If you're on the fence about pushing yourself past what normal is, do it. Get off your butt, go outside. There's freedom on the bicycle, there's freedom in your tennis shoes, and it's just waiting for you.